and a report that Douglas County, they wanted to know why they had been out there
grounds,
before.
Your Honor.
This is not hearsay. This was my conversation with the Douglas County officers.
Okay, so that officer's not here.
Okay, but the report exists.
But I get that, but I can only hear I really can only hear what you between you and Mr. Bell. Okay.
Okay, I understand. And so, then that is when they made me aware of that. It was they called it a suicide.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
In Judge Manning's court, we have an ex-couple that share a child together. The ex-girlfriend has made some very disturbing accusations towards the child's father and wants a TPO. Let's get into the video.
All right, Mr. Garland and Ms. Pryor. Mr. Garland, you going to have any witnesses?
Yes, potentially, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Allison, is this one of your cases?
It is.
Okay.
I think Ms. Pryor may have done her own paperwork.
All right. All right, Ms. Pryor, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. Officer Aaron Garner at the Douglas County.
Is he here?
She wants to have you call her. She's an officer. She's the detective in this case. He has contacted me multiple times, and there is an investigation. I'm sorry.
What do you mean the officer wants me to call her?
There is an investigation going on right now.
Okay, hold on. Is the officer going to show up to testify today?
She said for you that if you wanted to speak with her, to call her, because they're trying to validate the Google and Instagram and Facebook accounts where he has contacted me many times since this TPO.
All right, hold on.
But she says she would switch because she's in her office.
Let's see, Ms. Allison, is this something where you want to go back with Mr. Garland?
Yeah. Sure. Or you can put me in a breakout room with the client, either one.
Okay. And Mr. Garland?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garland, did you folks have an opportunity to speak? I did send the investigator in there.
You said we're talking to
you. Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
And Ms. Pryor would like to have as a witness an officer who is investigating an alleged violation of the 30-day order. The officer doesn't have, it's alleged that there are Instagram messages and emails that happened between Mr. Bell and Ms. Pryor after the service of the order. But they don't have any copies which to introduce. And so I can't imagine any of that is admissible over a hearsay objection, Your Honor. But that's the status of what I've learned.
Did you guys talk about any kind of consent, or no, we're just going to go forward with a hearing because we can do that?
I did not talk about a consent with Ms. Pryor. It was more to investigate the status of the officer. I'd be happy to discuss with Ms. Pryor. I had reached out to her previously about trying to reach a consent, but we have had no conversations in that regard. So yes, we would.
All right. Let's see, where did she? I'm sure what she would probably want to do is consent to one being in place. So would all of you like to go back in the breakout room again and then come back?
Your Honor, it's likely to be a very brief conversation, but I think it's one we should have.
Okay. All right, all of you can go back in there, and if the investigator wants to go back, you can all just go back down and join breakout room 1 again.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Garland, are you going to be my attorney of the day or no?
Yes, Your Honor. We are going to have a hearing.
Okay, then you're my least favorite attorney today. Boom. That's how that works.
All right. I apologize, Your Honor.
That's okay. That's all right. All right, let's see. So, Kristen Pryor, Brandon Bell, you raise your right hands for me. All right, do y'all swear affirm testimony you're about to give in this petition for a TPO is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Your Honor.
All right. Do I still have is the detective still here, or is she stuck? You can put your hands down.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So,
Your Honor, question. Would you like my witnesses to be logged in now, or you want them to log in once Ms. Pryor is done with her portion?
You can wait when Ms. Pryor's done if you want. Let's see. Ms. Wilkie, I think you were a witness, so we're finished. You can go ahead and leave. And Ms. Osborne, I think you were a witness, so I went ahead and done the order, so you can go ahead and leave. And Ms. Stubbs, once you do that, you can leave too.
You leave right now? Oh, okay. They received. Yeah. Thank you.
The witnesses for that case. Y'all can go ahead and leave. All right. So Ms. Pryor, all right, and the detective. So Ms. Pryor, it's just going to be you, and I'm assuming the detective. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay. Ma'am. So I'll go ahead so that the detective can. Excuse me, everybody. Get back to work. I'll just go ahead and probably hear from the detective first. Is that okay with you, Mr. Garland?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Detective Garland, if you can raise your right hand, do you swear affirm testimony you're about to give in this petition for a TPO is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. All right. Do you want to go ahead and tell me what you know about what's going on here?
So my understanding is I'm here about the active case I have about the alleged TPO violation.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me what you know, because it looks like I have that Mr. Bell was served on June 27th.
Hold on. You have to forgive me. I didn't know I was going to be here until
hold on,
a couple of minutes ago.
Let me make sure. What day? I'm sorry. He was served on June the 23rd.
Yes, he was served by our department. Our civil department served him at their residence in Douglas County.
Yeah, sorry, June 23rd. It was the 23rd, Mr. Garland.
Okay, I had the 27th on my.
Yeah, I don't know why I did too. So it is the 23rd.
Okay.
So you can.
So Ms. Pryor made a report with us on the 29th for TPO violations because Mr. Bell had been reaching out to her. She provided me with where he had called her and texted her on Instagram as well as where he had been emailing her through a Gmail account. She's Instagram messages and emails. I have subpoenas off to the appropriate companies. Once I get those returns and can verify that they are Mr. Bell's accounts, I'll be able to proceed with my case as far as a TPO violation goes.
So on Instagram and Gmail, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yeah, I'll show you. Let's see, Mr. Garland. Let me see if I can pull this up so you can. Here is the. There's the entry of service right there where it says the 23rd.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You have any questions for the investigator?
Are you speaking to me, Your Honor? Or,
yeah. Do you have any questions for?
So you have not received the subpoenas back to show who the account owner is. Is that correct?
No, I don't have returns back yet.
Okay. All right. Nothing further, Your Honor.
So, investigator, I'm sorry. Were these just pictures? Was there certain communications, anything like that, or just?
So the day that he was served the TPO, he was served, I believe, around 11 or 12 o'clock. About 4 o'clock that afternoon, he called her on Instagram, sent her a message, asking her what she was doing or something to that effect. He called her then, she didn't respond. And then after that, just about, I won't say every day, but just about every day, he sends her an email about various things, about trying to work out their relationship, trying to get law enforcement out of their relationship, them working things together, how he hopes they can resolve this, how he wants to be a part of their daughter's lives. Nothing threatening, but consistent.
Okay. All right. Nothing else for her, Mr. Garland?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you so much, investigator. Stay healthy and safe out there, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Stay if you'd like and listen. You don't have to leave. I'm not making you leave, but feel free to stay if you like, or you can stay here connected, or you can watch it streaming live on YouTube also.
Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Sure. Go ahead, Ms. Pryor. Tell me what's going on.
Yes, ma'am. Do you want me to start from the beginning?
Sure. It looks like on your TPO, it says May the 7th looks like it's around the first date.
Yes. Okay. So May 7, we had the safety plan was put in order by DFAX and Aaron Garner, the detective in this case, and the Advocacy Center for Douglas County. I met with all three of them, and they put Ruby on camera and reported her, did a forensics report, that thing on her with her twice. And then I came to you for the TPO. And he was served on the 23rd. And since then, he has contacted me repeatedly. He has also contacted my daughters. I have two older daughters. The oldest one, Kelsey Mask, who was a witness in the initial happenings, and also has witnessed his behaviors with her over the years, witnessing him coming out of the shower with her as they have been showering together, and that he has had many maintaining with me that it is okay for him to be nude with his daughter and to shower with her.
And how old is she?
She is about to be 6 years old on the 28th of this month.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, anything else?
He is also receiving the 2021 tax credit for her that went out. But I'm sorry, I have notes. There was also on the suicide welfare check on July 28th, the morning that they had, okay, so on the day that they went to serve the TPO was actually the day you
Your Honor, I'm going to object on hearsay grounds.
I have the
unless Ms. Pryor can establish she was there to witness these things.
I was in the house.
Okay, you witnessed it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay.
Ma'am. So historically, Brandon posts ridiculous things on Facebook. He makes outlandish posts on Facebook. And so on this particular day, on July 18 of 2018, there was I was receiving messages saying Brandon's making crazy posts on Facebook again. So I went upstairs out of my office and observed Douglas County leaving my front porch and going to get into the sheriff's car. And I said, what is going on here? Why is Douglas County here? And he said, oh, he just wanted to stop by and let me know that someone loves me.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
This was my encounter with him in this
with Mr.
situation.
Bell? That's what Mr. Bell said?
Yes,
okay.
Ma'am. He said that to me.
This was between you and Mr. Bell, correct?
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Correct. And so he said to me that that they just wanted to stop by and check and tell him that someone loved him. And I said, Brandon, that sounds like a well check to me. And he said, well, yeah, it kind of was, I guess. And I said, so why didn't they ask to speak to me? Because my understanding is they should check all occupants in the residency, and they never asked to speak to me. So on the morning that the TPO was being served, they had made an attempt the day before, prior of the day that they served it. They made an attempt to serve the TPO, and his car was parked in the driveway. He did not answer the door, and the garage door was up. So they called me, Aaron Garner called me and let me know that they were unable to serve the TPO and that they might need my assistance. I offered my assistance to let them in the house to serve the TPO on the 23rd, the day that they were able to serve it. So I met with the officers at the gas station up the road. And when we were on the phone, one of the officers asked me what happened and why did Douglas County report? They have a report that they came to my house for a suicide check on July 18 of 2018. That there was a suicide check and a report that Douglas County, they wanted to know why they had been out there grounds, before.
Your Honor.
This is not hearsay. This was my conversation with the Douglas County officers.
Okay, so that officer's not here.
Okay, but the report exists.
But I get that, but I can only hear I really can only hear what you between you and Mr. Bell. Okay.
Okay, I understand. And so, then that is when they made me aware of that. It was they called it a suicide.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. But that what I did experience that with him.
Hold on one second. All right. How about Mr. Garland? You, me, and Ms. Allison go in a breakout room.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll be right back. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Pryor. Go ahead, Ms. Pryor.
I'm sorry. I missed, y'all had gone into another room. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. I just had a question. I just didn't. I was saying. Go ahead.
I missed your
question. Telling me. Just go ahead. Keep telling me. Keep going.
Oh, continue.
Yes, ma'am.
The details. Okay. So, pertaining to the violation of the TPO or the.
What happened? Why you're seeking a TPO? You talking about
more? Okay. So Brandon Bell has, in many situations, plays with Ruby inappropriately and physically, he's a big guy. She's a small girl. And so they are very playful, and he has picked her up and straddle her on his stomach and bounce her up and down, standing multiple times in sexual position. And I have walked into the room and told him to stop. Don't ever do that to my daughter. To do that to my daughter again. And he farts in her face, gets her to fart in his face, and has laid down on the couch and has had her roll around on him in her panties and has her fart in his face. And he is historically inappropriate with her when she has been in the bathtub playing. And he will go in there and use the restroom. We have 2 bathrooms. He has his own bathroom and she uses the hall bathroom. There's no need for him to go pull his pants down and sit on the commode in front of her or anything out in front of her ever when she's in the bathroom. And so he could go around the corner to the other one. And this has been a battle with him forever. And he maintains that his parents walked around nude in front of him, which I don't believe that. But he says that they did that when the whole time he was growing up, that there is nothing wrong with a dad showering with his kid. And I've explained to him over and over again, she is a little girl. She is eye level to your package. There is no reason for her to ever see that. And if there was, an accident where a kid runs in the room, adults that kind of hide and be like, get out of here. Hey, spread equal. And it is disgusting. It is devastating to me. I am a female and I have been through situations in my life before, and I have asked him, this is inappropriate. Please do not do this to my child. And then I have talked to my family. I've talked to my oldest daughter. And then we were on the way back from a funeral where I had rented a vehicle and 2 adjoining hotel rooms in Tennessee in August, in August of this past year of 2020. And in the car, we were discussing, Brandon and I were discussing a conversation that we had had earlier in the morning, because in the hotel room, he walked out of the bathroom nude with his lotion around the side of the bed where Ruby was sleeping, and was proceeded to put his lotion on. And I took a towel and I ran over to him and I said, get your butt in the bathroom there, because there's no need for him to be out naked walking around the hotel room. And then in the car on the way home, I brought this up, that he did this, and he's sitting there defending himself in front of my daughter and her husband, and they're both in the back seat saying, no, Brandon, that's wrong, you should never be in front of your kid naked. And he's sitting
objection,
there saying,
hearsay, Your Honor.
this is the conversation that I had in the car with Brandon. There were other people that witnessed the conversation.
As long as this is between you and Mr. Bell, that's fine.
We were in the front seat. We had this conversation. He has maintained over and over again that there's nothing wrong with this. And then more when Kelsey, my oldest daughter, saw what happened.
Stick to what.
Okay,
what's going on?
I apologize. So this is a recurring situation with his nudity, that he feels that it is totally appropriate for him to be naked around his child. And it has been, I have explicitly told him never, never, never. And now we are here. And the parameters around the safety plan that initiated, Kelsey was a part of that. And that's the only reason I referenced her, because she witnessed what happened. She has been on that report with Aaron Garner. And so that's the only reason I referenced her, because she has been also aware of all of these things, the majority. So more conversations that we have had since the birth of my child, our daughter Ruby. Brandon has told me that if I was to ever leave my house, that his lawyer, because they grew up together at Pace Academy and UGA or wherever they all went to school, that his lawyer, that he does not have to pay anything to John Garland because they are like brothers. He told me that John Garland would take care of any custody situation for him, because I did not have the money and the resources to defend myself. So since she was born, he has threatened his lawyer that is sitting there to me. And he has threatened that he has a friend in South America that has this big plantation, that he could be south of the border and I would never find her again. These have been threats historically throughout the years recurring since her birth. And since I got pregnant with Ruby at 40 years old. I already have two daughters that I gave birth to in 1994 and 1999. I had raised my daughters already, but we got pregnant, and I had just become a stunt performer and stunt driver for film and television. I am on 2 precision driving teams, Precision Drivers Unlimited and Extreme Stunts out of Florida. And when I was pregnant with him, he had posted on Facebook, he had a stunt job and had posted on Facebook and had lost all of it. He was blacklisted by Lionsgate because of a disparaging post that he made on Facebook about the production Allegiant. Specifically,
Your Honor, I'm going to have to object on relevance grounds.
I got you. Okay, just if you can, do me a favor, just kind of stay focused on the TPO and why you need a protective order.
Brandon Bell has told me that he would throw me off of the bridge that we were on. We were on vacation in Navarre Beach. We have gone down there 3 times. The first time we went was over MLK weekend, right before COVID happened. And then we went 2 more or three more times to Navarre back in during the summer, and then for their birthdays in July, about this time last year. And the first time I had my daughter, my middle child, go with us to keep the situation so that there would be a witness, or people there, because he has on multiple times told me that he wanted to do acid or something and then he spoke to me. Okay. Yes.
Take a breath. Yes. Take a breath. I want you to focus on why you want a protective order.
Okay. Yes. And
what's happened? What's happened most recently on why you need a protective order?
Okay. Most recently. Okay. So historically, he had said that.
Not historically.
Yes. Okay. Yes. About the acid. And then recently, right before this happened, he said that he had a friend that had mushrooms, access to mushrooms, whatever, and said that he wanted me to try that it would make me whatever. And I said,
Your Honor, I'm going to object on relevance.
This was a conversation that I had with Brandon. Specifically, he was telling me that I'm sorry, can I continue? It was what he wanted to do and what he said that he would. Am I still able to speak?
Okay. Ms. Pryor.
Yes.
What's up with, just tell me what's going on with defects. I want you to focus on now.
Well, it's for my safety. He had threatened to shave my head.
Okay. Now tell me what's up with defects right now.
Okay. So with defects, is
the case open or closed?
Defects closed the case, and that is why I got the TPO, because they did not have enough physical evidence of penetration to go forward with. They did not have enough to charge him with sexual.
Has this man threatened you or your safety?
Yes, he has.
Okay. When did he do that?
He has threatened that. He has punched holes in the walls. He threw a coffee mug.
When did he do that? When did he do that?
It was before this happened.
Okay,
over the holidays.
Over the holiday.
Christmas and
of 2020.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Garland, do you have any questions for her?
If necessary, Your Honor, I don't believe she's met the standard, but I will go forward if Your Honor so wishes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Ms. Pryor, you mentioned in Christmas of 2020 that he threatened your safety. Did you report that to the police?
I did not. Okay. I did not at the time, but it is in this report for all of this. Yes. And it was at the, with defects and also that other people that had witnessed him try to hurt me and physically, then she was also there and reported that as well.
Okay. So, but over approximately 7 months ago when this happened, you didn't report it to the police at that time?
I did not have any broken bones or lacerations, so I did not need medical attention.
And Ms. Pryor, just to make it easier for you and I to communicate, if you will, when I ask a question, if you'll answer the question, and then I promise you I will give you time to explain your answer, and just to help our communication going forward.
I'm sorry, but I'm kind of new to this.
That's okay.
And I know you very well too.
I just want to clarify.
Ms. Pryor, just let him ask you a few questions, okay?
I just want to clarify. At the time in Christmas of 2020, you didn't report it to the police at that time?
Not at that time.
Okay. You also mentioned he threatened to throw you off a bridge in Navarre.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
When was that?
That was during, that would have been February around the 20th, because it was MLK weekend that we went.
Of what year?
We were on vacation. It was this last year.
When you say this last year, do you mean 2020 or 2021?
2020 of the COVID, right when COVID.
Okay, so February of 2020 that
Correct.
occurred. Did you report that to the police in February roundabouts of 2020?
I did not.
Okay. You said he threatened to take off to a plantation south of the border. Has he ever done that?
He has not taken her anywhere that I have.
And you seem to suggest that he would have me take custody of Ruby away from you. Is that what you felt like he was threatening?
He absolutely threatened that you would be able to represent him because he did not have anything. And Garland, Loeb, and Samuel is the greatest and took care of Johnny Cochran in OJ's case. So he has absolutely threatened you, and that I have no way of defending myself or no means to match your reach and who you know and your relationships within the judicial system. Yes.
Has Brandon or have I on Brandon's behalf done anything to try to take away Ruby's custody from you?
As far as I have been made aware of, no. But I do know that the conversations have been there, and I have text messages from him that he has made these claims of you specifically.
Okay, but has Brandon or have I filed anything to seek to take custody away from you?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but no paperwork that I have received from your office.
Okay. Or from anywhere.
He has, or from anywhere.
Okay.
On his behalf, as I have not received anything.
Brandon's never physically assaulted you, correct?
Yes, he has. He has grabbed me by my arms, and shook me, and took a hot coffee cup and threw it at my head and hit the window 2 times. He has punched holes in my office and in the wall that still exist.
And when did that happen?
Over the entire time since since Ruby has been born, he has behaved in these ways to me, and coming and pulling down his face and pulling at everything, and grabbed hold of the refrigerator, shook it, and tried to flip it over, broke the refrigerator handle and punched it. There's dents in it, and almost dumped the microwave that's on top of it on me. And I had to catch the microwave.
Okay. Did you report any of those incidents to the police?
I did not. Again, because if I did, he said you would get him off just like the felony. Oh, that's right. I haven't even discussed that.
But these incidents you claim occurred we're talking years ago, correct?
No, it is not. It is very recent.
How recent?
Up until I had this, and it was just periodically these explosions would come up.
And did he physically assault you during those explosions?
Verbally, and yes, and physically.
Okay. When is the last time he physically assaulted you?
It was spring. It was relatively warm. It was not, so it was in the middle of the spring, right after winter. There's just been so much going on. I do not have the specific date.
Of 2020?
No, this year, 2021, where we are now, right before this stuff happened. And anytime we have these, I find him in situations where he is doing inappropriate things, and I bring it to his attention and ask him what is going on here, then he becomes enraged and screams at me, starts screaming in front of Ruby, telling Ruby that your mother hates me. Your mother does all of these things. She thinks I'm hideous to her. He just is a big emotional mess in front of Ruby and towards Ruby about me.
Okay. But you never reported any of this stuff to the police?
Again, if I reported it, it would have been my word versus his, and then you're right behind him.
Okay. Have you ever gone to the hospital with injuries from Brandon?
No.
Have you ever suffered injuries from a physical assault by Brandon?
Not to where I had broken bones or bleeding.
Bruising? But
red marks, yes.
Did you ever take
red marks on my arm?
You ever take any photos of those?
No.
Okay. Ever show them to anyone?
My daughter. My
Which
oldest
daughter?
And she also witnessed the coffee mug going by my head full of hot coffee, and it hit the glass.
All right. But all of these incidents precede the DFACS investigation, correct? Came before.
Well, yes, because we've not had any contact. I saw him on May 8th when I served him the safety plan, and then so he's not had access to me since then. So he would
have, let's see. Has he ever sent you any threatening text messages, emails, written communications?
Yes, I have lots of stuff in text message. Yes.
Do you have those with you today?
They're all in here, but that's.
Do you have those to show to the court and to me?
I have him blocked from being able to contact me. So I am going to pull that up here. I don't want to waste the time on pulling up for the court. This might take a minute for me to get this.
Well, how about this? I think I've heard plenty. So Ms. Pryor, so as far as the child goes, I don't think I'm gonna be able to put one in place as far as the child, but he hasn't legitimated the child, so he doesn't have any rights to the child.
Right.
You don't have to let him. You don't have to let him see this kid. All right. Now you can file a legitimation case, and whoever hears that case, can do whatever they want as far as that.
Okay. And what about him violating your order for contact?
That's up to
when it becomes, yes, when the evidence comes back.
That's completely up to whatever Douglas County wants to do. So I'm going to put this in place just a little bit for you guys to just both leave each other alone. Okay. Now don't reach out to him.
No, I have not responded to him at all. I promise, never, not at all since you have put this order. I have communicated with Aaron, and that is it. But
I'm going to put in here that you can reach out to him as far as the daughter goes, because you're not denying that this is his daughter, correct?
I am not denying that.
Okay, because if something, I'm not putting this out there in the universe for anything to happen, but if she were to get sick or, I don't know, kids are kind of rough and tumble, run around, fall down and break an arm, something like that, that you can let him know, that you can keep him up to date on anything that's going on with her. And that's not going to be a violation, that you can definitely let him know. And obviously there's probably going to be a legitimation case. I'm assuming that's going to be filed in the future. So, and that y'all are going to have contact through that. Okay. So the stuff like that, there's going to be able to be contact. Because obviously you two have been together for a little while. All right. So
6 years.
Right. Right. Okay. So, but it's not going to be long, to give you guys a little bit of breathing room. Okay.
Okay.
And if the judge where you file the legitimation wants to do anything else, because it can be filed here or there. It can be filed in Douglas. It can be filed here. You can file where the dad lives or where the child lives, either one. If it's here, the judge here can make Mr. Garland, any changes that they want to here in Fulton County.
I didn't understand that.
You follow me, Mr. Garland?
That the judge can make any changes to your order?
Yes.
Okay.
If the legitimation is filed here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to include the child, but if it's.
Your Honor, I asked, instead of a couple things, that before you enter a temporary protective order against my client, that several things be considered.
Okay, what's that?
One, it will affect his right to own and possess a firearm.
So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of extend the ex parte kind of thing and give you a compliance date to come back. How about that?
Okay. Alternatively, Your Honor, we could enter in a consent agreement with Ms. Pryor.
Would you like to do that?
And that way, Ms. Pryor will have a binding document that shows the manner in which Mr. Bell can have contact with her.
Would you like to do that, Ms. Pryor? You have a little more control over what happens. Work out some specifics with him on no contact provisions.
I believe that sounds appropriate.
Do you want Miss Allison to help you?
I would love that.
Miss Allison, do you feel comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah. You want to send?
Yeah, y'all can go back to that breakout.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Hold on one second, Miss Stevens. All right, Mr. Garland, what y'all got?
Your Honor, we've got an agreement that he will stay away from Miss Pryor, that he'll have no threatening or harassing contact with Miss Pryor, that he will get a drug evaluation, and the order will stay in place for 6 months to that effect.
All right. Do you need us to do that for you?
I've been graciously been provided a form that I can fill out and I will send back. And we've also agreed that all communication will go through the Family Wizard co-parenting app.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's cool. So Mr. Garland, once Ms. Pryor, and if you can sign on behalf of your client, once y'all get it back, we'll email it. We'll email you if y'all just put your emails in the chat, and we'll email you both y'all a copy of the orders.
Okay.
And you can get back to your weekend with your family, Mr. Garland, and Ms. Pryor, you can go ahead and get back to your thing, and Mr. Bell, you can go ahead and get back to your weekend too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, y'all all stay healthy and safe.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good to see you.
All right, you too.